This episode of TRS is brought to you by Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, now with single and multiplayer. Available now. Coming up on today's show, these three sack boys talk about the game sequel, LittleBigPlanet 2.
On today's show, we're in a world of whimsy and craft. We are in a Little Big Planet, the sequel this time to one of, I know, Dan and my favorite games on the PS3 from 2 years ago. This is Media Molecule's Create, Play, Share, or I think that's the wrong order, but three facets of the game. You can create your own levels, you can share those online, and you can play. The game ships with a number of finely crafted. In fact, in this one, even more finely crafted because you have a full platformer storyline that is delivered through cutscenes and voiced acting, a number of bosses that lead up to you fighting the Negativitron, is that what he's called?
I think it's what he's called, yeah.
But of course you still have numerous, millions in fact, levels that you can download online that people have created, and Media Molecule have done all kinds of new ways of delivering those levels to you and letting you filter them. They have ones that they recommend themselves. New functions that you can do. You've got new abilities for your guy. What else is new about the game?
Grappling hook.
Yeah.
Grappling hook.
All kinds of different stuff.
Well,
the creation mode is much more robust now. You can.
There's like vehicles, I guess you would call them.
Well, you could make vehicles in the first one too, but now that you can change camera angles, do top-down levels, you can remove Sackboy completely and have a completely different avatar. It's much more off the hook.
There are
That's
different,
what the kids say.
There are different play styles in the story where you're now playing flying levels and driving levels or whatever, as well as in the user-created levels. Now you are making driving.
Well, if you want.
Yeah, I mean you can. I'm saying that
there's
is
much
the
more.
newness.
It's much more robust and open. So Daniel, I know you were a big fan of the first one.
Yes.
Part of the criticism coming into this one was, does there need to be a numbered sequel, or can we just get new levels for our existing Little Big Planet? How do you feel about that?
I think it earns its number 2, certainly, because the story mode was much more robust this time around. It did the other story mode was a story mode, but I think a lot of people didn't even get that it was a story mode because it was just so, you just had a little text bubble at the beginning of a level and you went through, it felt like the tutorial kept going, but the real game was the user-created levels, and I feel like this
I don't know,
one...
I disagree with that. I felt like the Media Molecule levels in the first game were such a high watermark that almost no one got to that point, at least in the first few months.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I feel like that wasn't common thought, but maybe I'm mistaken. But I'm definitely with you. I loved those levels, and I'm thrilled at these where if we aren't getting a new ability at every change of level, we get the vehicles, then we get like a Space Invaders type thing happening. Like we're constantly getting new, inventive, fun things to do. My criticism is a criticism that a lot of people have with the first one that I didn't experience with the platforming is very subpar to me.
Because the jump.
Not in terms of inventiveness. I like the floaty jump. It's actually not the jump to me. It's the multiplanar stuff where you're like, there's a 3-dimensionality to the 2D-ness. So you can be in back of things or in front of things, but it's not like I can choose that. It like automatically puts you on a plane.
No, you can. You can certainly choose that by pushing down and jump, but anytime you jump, it'll automatically try to push you back a plane if it can.
But it's not right. Right, exactly. So I'm not choosing that. It's automatically pushing me back in a place that I didn't. And also, it's like sometimes you can just hold down to move there. Sometimes you have to move and hit jump. But it doesn't always feel like I know exactly what to do in that moment. It feels like it's kind of got a mind of its own in certain spots. But there is plenty of inventiveness in that platform. There is plenty of like the grappling hook adds so much fun interaction with the gameplay.
Yeah.
And the Media Molecule, not the user-created levels, the fact that we have a full-on tower defense game here is staggering. That we have someone created a Mario Brothers that we had plenty of those Mario Brothers or Sonic levels in the first Little Big Planet, but whatever Media Molecule put out there, where now it doesn't even look like Little Big Planet. I mean, literally, you can just make Mario.
Yeah, I want to get back to that in a second. Let me
You got
see
it.
what Alex
Yeah,
has to say about the game.
I mean, yeah, I totally agree with you, Dan, that it's such a joy to play. It's one of those games that's just sort of like a Christmas present every time you get to a new area. You know what I mean? And sometimes literally and figuratively. You know, moving between the different levels, the story is much more robust here. And I think it still hits that thing with me that didn't really put it up to the top of my list 2 years ago, which is so much more, I mean, exponentially more fun, the three of us sitting on a couch than me sitting on a couch. I mean, like 20-fold to me. It's a good game when you're by yourself. It's good because it's sweet and there's like the great sounds and cool levels and stuff like that. But it pales in comparison to me to sitting on a couch playing with you guys, and maybe even online it can be that much fun.
I mean, the game is constantly pushing that. Is saying, hey, because other people playing this level right now. Do you want to play with them?
Yeah, which is great. Although less exciting to be playing with random people and not really knowing who they are. It's more fun to be like.
There's some fun in that. There's some like in WoW when you like there's some fun in like I don't know these people, but also we like all fucked up together and then figure things out.
But for me, that's my only sort of gripe. Other than I think you're right that the sort of jumping between planes thing. I never really. It was one of those things where I never clocked into my brain. With platformers, I'm okay if I go, I want to go there, and my skill doesn't let me do it, or I get there and it's the wrong place to be. That's okay. That's sort of like the good suck that Dan talks about. It's like, I missed the ledge.
Right.
But what I hate is when I go, I want to go there, and I do the thing, and it puts me somewhere else.
Right.
Not because I did it wrong. It physically put me somewhere else.
Gotcha.
And that to me was where it just got. That was the only level of frustration, because even when we were horrible, the thing, especially because a lot of the times the reason why you died was so fun and inventive and funny that it was like, I'm cool with dying there.
It does get a little chaotic with multiple people, but you're right, it is fun. And I agree with both of you guys, and I will take it a step further. I thought the jump in the first game was broken, and I was really hoping that because we're getting a numbered sequel that they were going to fix that. And they didn't. It's still physics-based, which is problematic for a number of reasons, because they can't control how you are landing and jumping off platforms, because platforms can fall and be affected by the physics. So oftentimes you'll feel like you want Mario-esque control, and you never get that. The way they fix that in this game is pretty clever, even if it is just a workaround, which is they have jump pads in most of the story levels. And so you often don't even have to rely on your jump nearly as much as you did in the first game, because there's jump pads. And if the jump actually felt like the jump pads felt, the game would be perfect.
Yeah, why have pads then?
But it says a lot about, like you said, the word I want to pick up on is inventiveness. So clever, so amazing, such ingenuity with different kinds of things. They're always throwing something new at you. I think the game ramps up from the first game, the visuals and the clockwork nature of everything, even more than in the first game, and you always feel a sense of joy and wonder coming upon the next crazy contraption that they're throwing at you. And that is so much fun that completely trumps any negativity that I have about, I think, what are broken mechanics in the game. But I do want to hit really quickly on the
also ramps up in the music category.
Yeah.
First
Well,
game, great
was great
score.
too.
This even further, it's like song. They're making wonderful original songs, not just ambient music.
Yeah.
And it's great how the user-created levels can now link together, so you can really have stories, and all that stuff is great. And I haven't even. What I realized from the first game is that making levels is not for me. It's just not for me. I like playing great levels, but my question to you, Dan, about the user-created stuff is, when you get, there's one I think both of us played called Blast Radius, which is basically Super Stardust or Geometry Wars. A little more closer to Super Stardust, I would argue. But and there are Space Invaders kind of levels, and like you said, Mario levels. Do we want a game that's I can do all these other things, though not quite as well? or almost as well, but a dedicated game does them a little better. Is there a reason for that, or is that just like, oh, it's neat that you can do this?
The only bummer is that it's on a console, so there's a barrier to entry. If this were Flash-based somehow on the internet, which maybe there is something like it, it could be as prevalent as YouTube is, because YouTube is that. I mean, what you just described, it's like, do we really need a less than Lord of the Rings? Or can we just see, because someone made that Lord of the Rings movie themselves, or took a remix of Iron Man and put it out there, you know what I mean? Like, and it's awesome. We all forwarded those movies on YouTube, and I would forward these levels for you guys to experience.
Well,
but unfortunately,
that mechanic is all built into LBP. I mean, favoriting.
No, I know, but
that
it's just you got to fire up the PS3 and you got to, you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, like it would be so much, because there are joys there, and there are. I remember even the first Little Big Planet. There are levels that are Indiana Jones levels that are like really smartly constructed. So there are great video games, and they're also like, oh my God, guys, it's that thing from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And the idea that like there is a super off-road level in the user createds that it's not Little Big Planet. I mean, it's nothing about it. It looks like there's a real car, a real structure. It's not Little Big Planet, handmade, crafted, whatever. I mean, it's legit, because they gave you the tools to do it. I'm like, and the Geometry Wars thing, I mean, I don't need to pay the 400 whatever gamer points for Geometry. I mean,
was like,
this is pretty damn
400?
good. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, and this is just day one. You know what I mean? Like, what do we eventually get?
Yeah.
It's just a bummer there is that barrier to entry.
I don't know if it is that much of a barrier. But
Well, just to hit the
are you a fan of
mainstream.
the user stuff, or you kind of stick more to the story?
I like the user stuff. I mean, that to me was always sort of fun. I mean, I loved playing all the like mods for Quake and Doom. Like, and I even from back then, no, I'm not the guy to make the levels. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it's
a
I don't
little
know.
bit easier,
Maybe
but
it's not.
but that's the thing is what was the one, the Power Modders, the mod. Remember the one where it was like, just say track and move your thing, and then there's a track.
Mod Nation Racers.
Mod Nation Racers.
Yeah.
I think I might try that and try to build something and see, because that was the one that was like, you don't like building because you don't want to select all the things and get
Takes
how
4
it goes.
seconds.
Takes 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Eh. Anyway.
I think it's a recommend from me for sure.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
hell All right, everybody, remember to stick around for this day in rad history. But first, sponsors. Daniel.
That's right. We are sponsored by Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which because we didn't review it on the show, I went out and picked it up myself and love it. So I asked if I could do this reading, and they say,
It's a staged reading.
as Ezio, a legendary master assassin, experienced over 15 hours of single-player gameplay set in living, breathing, unpredictable city of Rome. I say, better single-player game than either of the other two. It's amazing. The story is simple and awesome, and the cutscene dialogue stuff is hilarious.
Cool.
It's actually really good, because a lot of people thought maybe this is just a multiplayer expansion. No, single-player game, freaking awesome. However, multiplayer. One of the greatest multiplayer experiences I've ever had. It's what I've always wanted out of a multiplayer. I'm cloaked, I'm an assassin, there's a dude trying to find me, and I am trying to find another dude. And then
Sounds like Friday night.
if I'm spotted, I have to outrun him. It's freaking awesome. And there's also a team version of that I haven't really played, but anyway, multiplayer is amazing. There's also lots of different guns, tanks, frickin' flying machines. I haven't
Amazing.
discovered all of them yet,
The best
but
kind of flying machines.
that's what they're telling me.
Frickin'.
So pick up Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I believe. is what
Today.
they do. Yeah, it's out. I mean, it's totally out.
Amazing. All right, people, we'll see you tomorrow.
We did a Little Big Planet background because we talked about Little Big Planet today. Send in your background. Fans at TotallyRatchet.com.
That's right.
Check out tomorrow's show where we discuss what else is on our radar.
So today is January 25th, and on this day in rad history in 1949, the first Emmy Award ceremony was held to honor local LA area television.
That's
the first
crazy that it
Emmys were
started
like-
as like
Wayne's World!
Yeah. To Bert's Carpet for inventive use of advertising. Come on down to Bert's Carpet.
To Charlton Cigarettes.
Yeah.
Being the tastiest cigarette ads.
Yeah, so the Emmys, of course, are now the television ads for all of TV. We had the Golden Globes are TV and movies. The Emmys are TV. You know,
Yeah,
the
they're
big
like
deal.
the Oscars for television.
Yeah, exactly. And
Oh, the Emmys for TV.
oh, that was brought to us by @Mike Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
He brought it to us.